Hey travelers, Mag, MsPatt, and Sanferic here. Continue our adventure around Gustavus. Today we are doing something we are very excited about. We are going to pursue a first to find earth cache here, starting from Glacier Bay Lodge along the Bartlett River Trail. And it's been sitting out there waiting for somebody to come discover it for how many years?
2 years.
2 years it's been sitting without anybody being able to come out find it. But today, we're gonna change that. We're gonna take this trail, we're gonna make it out there, not get eaten by any bears, and show you some amazing sights along the way. So let's check out the Bartlett River Trail together. Come on, let's go.
But before we even step foot onto the trail, we decide to take the long way out of the lodge, heading down to the shoreline so that we can get a better look at the area around the Glacier Bay National Park Lodge. The Hoona live about 30 miles away in a village, but Glacier Bay is their ancestral homeland. It was not uncommon for them to make the journey up and down the passageway by canoe, and recent artifact finds in the area indicate they may have been doing this for well over 1,000 years. With that kind of history, it's no wonder that the National Park Service worked with the Hoona to establish a tribal house right here.
And yes, these are real whale bones from a whale named Snow, who passed away about 20 years ago. They put the bones back into the ocean, let the salt water help to preserve them, and then put them out here on display so that they can teach the public about whales. And it's kind of an amazing thing to get to see their skeleton and see what it looks like on the inside of these just majestic, gigantic creatures.
About a decade ago now, on August 25th of 2016, the tribal house here at Bartlett Cove was officially open to the public, an event that coincided with the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service. Many of the Hoona in attendance at the ceremony arrived in a traditional style, paddling the 30 miles from their village to their ancestral homeland. A significant accomplishment more than 20 years in the making, attended by around 800 tribal members, park staff, and visitors. As we learned about the history of the event, we could practically hear the beating of the drums and the chanting, starting us on our way down the trail toward our destination for the morning. We feel fairly well prepared for the journey because before setting out for the morning, the Park Service Ranger was nice enough to draw us a map and let us know exactly what we were getting into out here. And actually that map was more than a bit humorous, with the friendliest animals in the regions closest to the lodge and them getting more and more dangerous as we get further and further away. Our destination is at a perfect overlap between grizzly, wolf, and moose territories.
So far, the distance out here on the trail is just flying by. Whenever we encounter a spot that's particularly muddy, the Park Service has been gracious enough to install little boardwalks to get over those spots, both for us as hikers to ensure we have stable footing, and them as Park Service Rangers to ensure they don't have to come out here for rescue operations as often. Along the edge of the trail, we can usually see the river off in the distance through the trees, and we've already seen a family of otters. We're not too far from our destination now, and I think everybody's feeling in pretty good spirits because right before we came out here, we had double checked to ensure that despite the 2-year gap, nobody had logged that earth cache yet. We are closing in on this, and the anticipation is growing steadily.
The Bartlett River Trail meanders its way for several miles from the Glacier Bay Lodge, through the forest, along an intertidal lagoon, and then emerging out at the Bartlett River estuary. On both sides, spruce and hemlock line the path, but there is no mistaking our trail as it is clear as day and very well maintained by the National Park Service. We keep an eye to the forest, not so much for bears because we're loud and that bell is ringing, but for other animals we might see along the way, including migratory birds, coyotes, and moose. And don't get me wrong, moose can be quite scary too, but they're not too bad when viewed from a distance. It's getting close that you don't want anything to do with. It is important we watch our step though, because every now and then there may just be a landmine underfoot.
This right here, mates, is what we call bear poo in the woods. Now if you had taken this path, hopefully you were looking down, stepping over this log, or you would have a really messy boot real quick.
If you take a step back in time in geological history, this trail that we find ourselves on now looked a whole lot different back then. At one point, this area was dominated entirely by glaciers, which stood for centuries, over 100 miles long, 20 miles wide, and nearly 1 mile thick. The impact of those glaciers were so significant that even today they are affecting the landscape all around us. When the glaciers finally retreated, an enormous weight was taken off the land, allowing it to rise up again. The terrain is actively rebounding at a remarkable rate of about 2 inches per year.
So we're out here in bear country. Mag, MsPatt, and Sanferic. We got some bear spray loaned to us from the lodge. Now, if I were to have a bear approaching me, I've got it right here front and center, and that angry bear stands no chance. We operate this just like a fire extinguisher. Gotta pull it out of the holster here, real quick deploy like. And you gotta pull the pin, not actually gonna do it. Apparently, reading the instructions, you can do it one-handed. Just put your finger through the hole here, pop that back with your thumb, and depress on the little doohickey here. Oh God, a bear! An actual bear! That was the past method. Pull the pin, aim, squeeze the trigger down, and sweep across the nose. Then you replace your bear can and you just walk away like nothing happened.
We haven't even bothered to have our GPS on for this adventure because there's no mistaking when we reach our destination. It is the very end of the Bartlett River Trail, where it terminates and can go no further. Our national park guide was extremely clear in her description, letting us know that we would exit the forest and come upon a large rock where the trail terminated. It really feels like we made it out here in no time at all.
We've made it to our target objective here at the end of the Bartlett River Trail, and we are here to learn about glacial rebound. We made all this journey to come out here and learn about it. We figured we might as well teach you a little something as well. Glacial rebound is actually a very interesting geological phenomenon that happens as the glacier recedes over a landmass. Now, glaciers are heavy. I'm talking really heavy to an unfathomable point. As they recede away from a landmass, the land actually starts to spring back from the weight of that glacier being removed. And that's actually exactly what we're observing right here on this shoreline here. You can see where the high tide mark comes all the way up to the grass right there. Everything beyond that high tide mark is all the result of glacial rebound. That is where the glaciers just north of us have now receded away from the land, and it has had an opportunity to come back up after the weight has been relieved from it, and you can actually see this land rising. We've done the math, and I'm not going to give you the exact number, but I can tell you from what we're looking at that it has been raising at a rate of between 1 to 2 inches every single year since that glacier moved away. That is phenomenal to think about. And we've learned something here at the end of the Bartlett River Trail, but our adventure here is not over. We're going to head back into town and see if we can go explore a little bit more before we head on to our next destination along the Alaska Marine Highway system.